What's up? Um, so I have I had a haul of albums yesterday that I posted on my story on Instagram. Just like a fuck off till death, and it should be the same profile pic as this channel. Follow, whatever. If I remember, I'll try and leave a link to it. But I am gonna be doing a video on that later, today or tomorrow. But you know, I went through them. I put them in order that I need them to. I put them on my Spotify, whatever, because I do listen to music on Spotify if I don't feel like pulling a CD off. Which I've been trying to balance it out again. I've been kind of struggling not with just Spotify, and I want to take the headphones off and actually listen on my CDs because I buy them for that reason. But that's not what we're here to discuss. So, I was watching some, videos and, kind of rediscovering bands and songs and all that, fun stuff. And, I realized a lot of times I will listen to these reviews and, they'll say whatever songs are favorites from the album or band. And a lot of times, whatever is the favorite song is usually the track that ends up standing out to me. But, it's not I'm just agreeing to agree. I'm actually giving the track a chance, and a lot of times it does actually stand out to me, even if it takes a couple of listens. And I want to know what your thoughts on deep cuts are. And what I mean by that is, let's see here, I'm gonna grab a couple of, alright, this one, and that. This one. Alright. I got 3 albums here. All fantastic albums. So the first one is Megadeth's latest album, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. Now, Killbot and Gorgoroth did a video on it. Great video. I think out of all the reviews I saw, that was probably my favorite, and I love watching it. And, you have the same favorite tracks. Now, I actually did a review way early on, before my last account and all that. And that was Celebutant and Mission to Mars being the 2 standout tracks to us. Celebutant being the favorite of the 2, but Mission to Mars is a close second. If I'm remembering Tony's words. Now, that would be a deep cut, because none of these are, top tracks on, Megadeth's like top 5 album or songs on Spotify or whatever, which is fine. And don't get me wrong, great songs. And it's the song that as soon as, I'm like, oh man, I want to listen to that, and it comes on, I'm just air guitaring, I'm just singing the fucking song. Same thing with Aborted's new album. I believe it's the Golgathon. Um, that is my personal favorite track, and that I know is also Robert from the Middle Meltdown, if I'm remembering his name correctly. That's his favorite track. Now, again, you know, I agree. Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of other fantastic songs like Dreadbringer, Condemned to Rot, Death Cult, Hellbound, Insect Politics, uh, Malevolent Haze, and Dystopia, Human Equals Garbage. Overall, a favorite album of mine. But the song Broken Shell is another standout track to me. I mean, another example will be Archgoat. They have a song called Black Crusade on, I believe, Whore of Bethlehem. Excuse me. I agree 110% that is probably my favorite Archgoat song, even though it's not on my favorite album, which is The Apocalyptic Triumphator. And, do not get me wrong, a lot of people in the past have said, that sounds like I'm copying people, whatever the hell that means. I'm like, but it's the same album, and there's only so many songs on that album. I mean, so many people would say that, X song is their favorite. Does that mean that everyone is copying each other? Now, I'm not gonna get into all that. Take it or leave it. But for me, I feel like, seeing your favorite tracks during reviews or whatever, or your favorite track overall, isn't bad because it can give people a good idea of what the band or album will sound like. I mean, I think it was Classy Metal Lonnie here on YouTube. Great dude. He sent me a couple things and I'm fucking grateful for it. There was a album, I think it was the latest Desolate Shrine album from 2022, where he mentioned the song Cast to Walk This Star of Sorrow. And, I had never listened to Desolate Shrine, so, I was like, alright, I'm gonna check this out. And then check the rest of the album out, and that's what ended up leading me to buy it. And sometimes, it's just like, overall the album is great, there's no really standout tracks. But sometimes, just having that one, maybe two tracks, whatever, is just what you need, because sometimes that can be your favorite. And an example of this is the song Visions in My Head. I consider that a deep cut from Obituary. That was one of the first songs I ever heard by them that just kind of stuck with me. Unfit for Human Consumption by Carcass. That's a standout track to me. Ruptured in Putrons. Another standout Carcass track. And, I'm naming songs because, those are all deep cuts for me personally. I know the Obituary one might not be as much of a deep cut, but the other ones are. And for me, deep cuts are better than some of the singles. Now, sometimes there are just so many good tracks on albums that it's hard to water down just one or two or whatever. And for me personally, I would say that it is a great way to show someone a band that, you know, they might be like, oh man, I like that better than this. For example, I showed um one of my friends, because he was like, oh yeah, I've heard Master of Puppets from because of Stranger Things. And so I showed him like Disposable Heroes, The God That Failed, For Whom the Bell Tolls, which those are all tied at my top Metallica song depending on my mood. Um, you know, Fade to Black and fucking, you know, all these other deep cut Metallica songs. Fucking Murder, or not Murder One, Spit Out the Bone is another one for me, and you know, he was like, oh my god, these are really good songs. Um, and he ended up listening to them and liking them. So I guess my point of this video is give deep cuts a chance, even if they aren't your favorite. Listen to them. Obviously, listen to albums in full, but um, you know, there's so many underrated songs that, you know, I think are better than like a band's number one, or, you know, top 5 songs or whatever. Obviously, you know, top 5 are top 5 for a reason, but, you know, just go give album, you know, dig a bit deeper, you know, see if you can find a song that, you know, is like better than, you know, say Enter Sandman or fucking Holy Wars, even though there's like some banging songs. I wanted to do a little album recommendation. I know Black Metal Werewolf does them at the end of his videos, but I kind of I like the idea, and I was listening to this last night. Really good, filthy death metal. If you haven't checked it out, go listen to it. This is Church of Disgust with Weakest is the Flesh. This is the only Church of Disgust album I own, and really, really good. Very filthy, disgusting sort of stuff, and definitely pick it up. You won't regret it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and fuck off. Till next time.